Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Time for another round in the United States. I think it's been a while since we did one anywhere in the US, so let's hit play. Give ourselves 3 minutes and 30 seconds this time and we'll see how we do. Alright, okay, who knows? It could be a long road in the middle of nowhere or somewhere quite obvious. We're clearly on a sort of main road here, so that's good. Let's progress forwards a bit and see if we can see the sign. What are we looking at here? Okay. South 114 Forbes Street and R.I. So I think the only state I know that would fit is Rhode Island, and that's a good thing because Rhode Island is small by U.S. standards, so we might be able just to zoom in here and to see it. So let's just get it out here. Be very clear. South 114. Do we see a 114? We see a 116, and we do see a 114 up here. Very good. Okay. So yes, the 114 coming all the way down here actually to Bristol and onto this island, Aquidneck Island. Right, okay. So then, so it's still a long distance to cover here, and not clear necessarily where we are on that. So we need to gather a bit more information, but we're doing pretty well. Of course, we could just go north to south and see if we can see Forbes Street, but that might take some time. East and west on the 195. Now that does help because that gives us some overlap point here between the 114 and another freeway. And in fact, here it is. Here is the 195. So the 114 comes down here. Then it's not immediately obvious what happens. So let's check it out. 114A we're on now. Okay, interesting. 114A again seems to come back over here. And then look at that, we carry on down here. And there is Forbes Street, in fact, so we can see it. So that is good. We might have found exactly where we need to be. We are heading north on this road. And so we know the 195 is ahead of us. That puts us south of the 195. And Forbes Street was off in, well, that direction, I think, which is west. So let's see if we can see this complex intersection, and perhaps we can here. Is that what we're looking at here? And are there some roads off it? Let's go back to the beginning and just see what we can see coming up here again, because there's some roads off to the right and they go immediately off this street. We're going to have to close this one down soon, and yes, there's a few. In fact, there's that. I mean, they look pretty small. Forbes Street, and the reason I think we're there is because you see this U-turn right in the middle of the road, and I think that's what we're looking at here. So perhaps we started a bit further down here, somewhere around there. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go for the guess. Oh, and that is frustrating. We were just a bit further north. Would you look at that? And there's another one there. Interestingly, for Saccone Road, is the U-turn we were seeing for. And I guess there what was signposted is a U-turn for Forbes Street. Yes, that would make sense, which is behind us. So a little frustrating there. If that sign had said Saccone Road, of course, we'd have nailed it. That just takes some thinking around the geometry of this road and what users are going to do. So not quite spot on, but pretty close by US standards. This one might be a bit further away. We can see already. We're looking at some pretty interesting geography here. Quite dry, quite arid looking climate. But this looks altogether sort of more in the middle of nowhere. So going to be a tough one, I think, to get. Got a cattle grid here. Oh, goodness. And then we're doing a U-turn. And we're trundling off in this direction. So what do we think? This has more of a kind of California feel to me. These hills, for example, the perpetual sun, maybe a Northern California feel. That would be my initial guess, if I wasn't allowed to move or look further. Let's keep going. We've got here some turn off there for a ranch, but no signage, unfortunately, so it doesn't really help. What direction are we looking? We're heading west. There was a car there. Might be worth exploring briefly. Probably not. Okay, we'll keep going then, shall we? There's a long road up here, and I'm just trying to maximize the value we get in the time we have by clicking, as far as possible really onto the horizon. Just because it seems unlikely, at least at this stage, that we're going to come across many signs. So, hoping to get to more of a main road. This looks like more of a main road. We could take a pause here and see if there is any signage. Please. Yes, it looks like we've got some kind of ranch here. Some ranch inlet. That doesn't say anything, or if it does, it's well hidden. And that just looks like some sort of keep off the grass sign. Very picturesque. I mean, lovely, beautiful looking place. Minute and 20 to go, so keeping an eye on the time. We've got some more signs of life here, so that's good. I think we're clearly progressing in the right direction. It's just a question of, can we get to some decent clues in the time that we have, yes or no? But willing to give it a few more seconds before we take a guess somewhere. At the moment, I would still say that guess is California. And look into the distance, you really can see a long way here. It looks like, some fantastic scenery. So let's progress. Again, more signs of life here. 35 seconds to go. So really hoping now that there's something, kind of a clear clue, like a flag, for example, just to confirm the state. Or something even better. But it's hard. It's hard at these stages to really know. We could be in Texas, for example. And I think with that, it's going to be a tough one for us to do better. So why don't we go for California? I'll stick with my guns. Going to put a pin down there in sort of northern California. Let's say up by Redding. Oh, and we were in southern California. Okay. Or sort of southern, I guess. In the Los Padres National Forest. Okay, look at that. And a long way from anywhere, really, at least on the face of it. So it would have been hard to figure that one out. I think we were coming down this road here to Los Olivos. But that would have taken some doing. So, yeah, not a bad guess. I don't feel too bad about that one at all. We were in the right state, on the right coast, and all the rest of it. I assumed it was a bit further north. So, on the whole, more than half points. Interesting. We can see in the distance some interesting skyscrapers. This here is, I think it is called the Willis Towers, or possibly the Sears Towers. And it's in Chicago. So that's what we're looking at there. Chicago. So let's get in and see what damage we can do from this distance already. So we're looking northwest slightly at it, so that puts us south of the center of Chicago, so it's going to be somewhere around here. And the city center is in here. Specifically, I'm just looking for the real name of that building, because that would be good. I think it's around here. The Willis Tower. There we go. The Willis Tower. That's the building there. The one we can see on the left here with the spires. And it's off slightly to our left, and we're looking up north at it. So that's going to put us maybe here or here. Or somewhere close by, possibly here. I don't exactly know. The I-90 Express. Let's try that. We can see a big overpass. And I think we should just look around us and see if we can see any immediate or obvious signs. There's a big turnpike to the south of us as well. Well, we spent a long time here. So let's just progress forward a smidge and see what we can see on this sign. Not a lot. This is clearly some sort of major center. So what is it? McCormick Place. Okay, fantastic. So that will help. McCormick Place. Next up, we're looking for a sign. We know we've just gone under a pretty big road. And let's see what we can see here. 18th Drive is next right. So we were looking for 18th. 18th Drive. These are streets here, so can't rely on those. Again, the city centre is in here. 18th Street is there. So is that related to 18th Drive? Possibly, possibly not. Again, I'm not sure if we're on the 41 yet or on the 90. I suspect as we're looking slightly up to the north, we might actually be around here somewhere. The 41. In fact, okay, so the sign up here does say 41, so that is good. 18th Drive is the next right, and Soldiers Field. We've turned ever so slightly. We're dead north now. A minute to go on the clock. So this is good. And, you know, we're still a way out. And we've actually just exited off the parkway down there, haven't we? McCormick Place parking lot. Eighteenth Drive. We're looking for 18th Drive. I think this is the building here that we were by, because there is the overpass that we went under. Is the next right for something to do with 18th? 18th Drive. Yes, it is. I think we're spot on here, in fact. Let's just go back to the beginning and try to triangulate from that building. There's the building to our right-hand side. We're facing north on the road. There's the building. I think that's pretty spot on, you know. We're sort of about level with the car park here. So where would that put us? Maybe about there. Look, I think that's a pretty good guess. So yeah, spot on there. Happy with that. Nice to identify a city by its skyscrapers, I always think. What do we have here? Some interesting sort of smaller town America. A state flag there possibly, but hard to identify. And I'm not going to spend time doing that. Got a lovely park here to our left. And, you know, this sort of strikes me that we're on Main Street somewhere. Some lovely shops. Everything's open. So that is good. What do we have then? Let's try and progress to see something. We've got the Paris Jewelers here. Lucky something jeans and some road signs as well. Those are businesses, actually. Raymond's since 1989. Very good. This has a kind of New England-y feel to it, I think. So possibly there, but hard to tell. Possibly some indication here in this park as to where we are. So hoping for some resolution there. And we don't really get much. It says bride, but not much clue. Not much there in the way of a clue, I don't think. Not one I'm willing to rely on anyway. Why don't we go down Main Street? And we're going to finally get the name of Main Street. It is East Ridgewood and Prospect Street. Very good. Hoping on this side of this building, for example, there to be a clue, an interesting clue as to where we might be. Because a lot of the time, old buildings will have, you know, written on them the state, for example, that we're in. I'm rather banking on this happening, and it doesn't really seem to. Frustratingly not. So, not doing too well at the moment. Need to strike some more luck, I think, with a sign or a flag that I recognize. Or a bus, possibly. Columbus. Knights of Columbus, that building says, 1736. Columbus is an old town, so Midland Park Express. And what is that? NJ. Is that as in New Jersey? Is there a Columbus, New Jersey? Does that say Columbia Bank? Oh, goodness, I don't know. There's a Columbus, Ohio, famously, so that's going to be the major one. This looks like a smaller town than that. So I'm just going to zoom in briefly into New Jersey and see what we can find. New Jersey's still a big state, though. We've got Trenton, Vineland, 16 seconds to go, so not looking hopeful. And I don't see anything off the bat as to where we might be. So not sure. 3 seconds to go now, so unfortunately we've not found it. If it is in New Jersey, frustratingly it was as well. Where is Columbus, New Jersey then? Interesting. It's quite close to New York City. Let's see if it's actually called Columbus, and it's not. Ridgewood. So that was on the bus, so, you know, if you'd have known that. So got a bit thrown there by Columbus, and we went for Columbus, Ohio, or Columbia was the other clue, which, you know, should have been an indication that it wasn't quite right because the two are different. Ridgewood is the place, which we saw actually on the bus, so very well. We were clearly on the sort of main street here, and we saw on the bus the NJ logo, so, you know, it did give a clue as to the state, but I was a bit thrown by the town. So, unfortunately, not right there. Let's see, this must be the final round, yes. I do think having the extra 30 seconds is helping here, so I usually go for 3 minutes around, but 3:30 sort of seems to work maybe a little. Just allows you that little extra time to iterate. You still have to think as quickly. We've got here a star, and that I always think as being synonymous with Texas, the Texas Lone Star State. So possibly we're in Texas. Don't know where. Some big homes here. Girder and Woody Street. That's a big house, for example. Texans have big homes, so might make sense. Girder and Woody. Another star there. Look at that, another star. So pretty confident about the Texas thing at the moment. No business names, unfortunately. And, you know, this doesn't feel like a... Well, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a major city, does it? It doesn't feel like a Houston or a Dallas, you know, for whatever reason. It just doesn't. So not sure then where that leaves us. It's quite flat. Don't know if that's a clue or not. I think, you know, the strategy for now is just to progress down here as far as we can and see if we come... damn it. Quick turnaround here then. So, as I was saying that, there's no way out. So, let's go back up to one of these roads and see what's left and right. What was that there, for example? We're still on Woody. I mean, this looks like as good a road as any. Let's just go down it. At the moment, yeah, only got the state, and Texas is a big state. So, I mean, if we didn't find anything in New Jersey, you're not going to find anything in Texas. What do we have here then? Delivery. It doesn't say much, but here is a sign which might give a clue as to this work that's been going on. Maikawa. That's interesting because that is not a word that sounds particularly Texan. Maikawa lift station, package 2, blah blah blah, contractor. Ooh, so no information there, but the next sign says city of something. What? City of what? City of Pearland. Is that a place in Texas? Maikawa. Maikawa sounds like an indigenous name, you know. Maikawa, M-Y-K-A-W-A. You know, something that's more sort of... No idea. We've only got 17 seconds as well, so going to have to make a decision. I think there is a place called Pearland near Houston, and that is about as close as I'm going to get. There's Sugarland. It's not that. Maybe it's up north. Maybe it's out here. Oh, and there it is. There is a Pearland. It's south. Interesting. So, you know, it didn't feel like we were in a major city, but we actually were. And Pearland was right. We found the right place, and there is Maikawa Road. So unfortunately, we went this way and then south to the dead end, which I think is by this unique build sign. I'm not sure exactly. And then we had to backtrack, and by the time, so we only made it as far as here. Maikawa Road really threw me because that's not really a I don't know, it's just a bit of a strange word, really. Pearland, though, I did recognise as being something to do with Houston, so I just didn't know exactly where it was. I think, on the whole there, a pretty good guess from pretty high up. Right, well, game finished. Well done. Not a bad scoring round, 19,172. So for the United States, I think that's pretty good. We could have done much better in New Jersey, and we could have done much better in California, obviously. But 1, 3, and 5 in Rhode Island, Chicago, and in Houston, I think were pretty good. So on the whole, not a bad time. I do hope you've enjoyed this round as much as I've enjoyed playing it. I think the US map is always so interesting, and this one was really quite varied, actually. So better than 5 roads in the middle of nowhere. We actually got some proper locations that we could do well in. So I think that this has been a good one. Thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next video.